Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. When will Claressa listen to the older folks? When's she gonna listen to us, man? Boy, cause she heading on a path of self-destruction, you know what I'm saying? There was somebody who called in and she kicked some knowledge. I'll play about 7 minutes of it. Listen to this. All right, yeah. Go ahead, caller.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Good to hear from you. What you got?
Well, I was calling you because I made a comment the other day pertaining to I'm from Michigan and I'm 60 years old and I am aware of the.
Can you mute your TV for me?
Claressa is sitting up and she's damaging her career. And what people are steady missing is the fact that, yes, God blessed her with the ability and the having them hands, but Claressa is still infested with her life the way she was raised. And this is what her problem is. No matter what y'all say pertaining to that papoose issue, she's emulating Remy, yes, but at the same time, she want to be a part of that reality world because look at who she won't fight. Look at what Green just blasted her and put everything she said on the floor, but won't nobody talk about that.
When did she blast her? Something happened today?
No, she did it a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She called Claressa out.
Okay.
And
On Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, all right.
I haven't got no response from Claressa about that. When the Green young lady called her out. The boxer Green.
Yeah. I'm tracking with you.
Yeah, she called her out, and everything that she said is true. Claressa is running from the rough, tough, real fight to give her a challenge to that reality world because she's never had, the girl didn't grow up with anything. And I know her mama, I know Charlita mama, I know them very well. Listen, the bottom line is, when God has a hand on Claressa and he's taking her up out of there, but the poison that is still deep within her from envy, jealous, never having nothing, she don't know how to approach other women and be respectful because she got so much envy in her. Come on, look at what J. Paul just put together. There's no way this girl shouldn't have been a part of that. With her skills. And as far as Layla Ali go, look at here, baby. You just Layla praying for her, I'm praying for her, and the whole world needs to. Because it's a bigger story. It's a bigger hidden agenda with Claressa. That girl got mental health issues. Her boxing ability takes her away from her even having to think, because that's how she uses her skills to just drown out all the hurt and pain she lives in.
Do you know her personally?
I don't know Claressa. No, I do not. Like I said, I know the auntie and the mother.
Okay.
But I'm not, but the bottom line is, I heard you say your daddy's from Trinidad, and, whether people admit stuff or not, the upbringing, it goes a long way. And what you was introduced to, you're either gonna make it through the ugly and the hardship to become better, or you're gonna stay stuck in it. And in Claressa's case, it just infested her from so many negative things that she found glorifying in. It's showing now since that last fake fight she just had. Look at her on that vacation. It's showing knowing. She don't know. She don't have no identity.
What happened on the vacation? I don't know anything about the vacation. Tell me what you saw.
On her vacation, they was just showing her and Papoose on vacation with all the other girls with her, and I think that had something to do with that Zeus Crazy network, though.
Okay.
But she was on vacation with Papoose.
Okay. They filming, obviously, must be filming that reality show.
Yes. Because she don't have no promotion. She don't have no guidance. She don't have no positiveness around her at all. And you gotta understand, when it comes to Flint, Michigan, we call it Flintstone. Listen, it's more negative, ratchet ass ghetto-ness than there is any positiveness. You know, that's even for the whole Michigan. You have these little towns, this black towns, and I grew up from there, and I know what I'm talking about. These little black towns, the outskirts is considered the suburbs of it. So in Claressa defense, she was in the war zone. Them people gravitate on mess. They don't try to see better because they just want to blunt a joint and freaking. And unfortunately, yes, she learned to box. She focused on her trainings, but for all of that, that was her route of drowning out all the ugly and the sorrow. The bottom line is, that's neither here nor there. You are 31 years old. It's all about, do you want to represent and be a true goat? Because right now, you're a lamb. You're not a goat. You're sitting up and you're drowning into the wanting to be a part of the world that's not here for you yet. Grow. Go and show your true talent and your skills with them women that's going to give you that funk back. And that's what it is. Regardless of what they say, she's looking for love. She really won't Remy, but she also, she don't know how to reach out in the midst. That she do want to be a part of that girl, that set of girls that is making it happen in boxing, but she's using the two Olympics to make her feel above them. This baby has mental problems. Yes, she got the skills, but she don't have the right PR team behind her.
Boy, oh boy. Auntie said a whole lot, didn't she? And this is why you gotta listen to the old heads. Now, do I agree with everything that woman was saying? I mean, doesn't matter. But my question is, since I've been doing these lives, right? September last year I started, maybe end of August, September. Let me tell you something. All the people in here who are like 45 plus, they say pretty much the same thing. The ladies say the same stuff. They look at Claressa Shields and they understand her as a young lady. And they say, this individual has been through a lot. And they understand that. Then they take a look at her as when she was an amateur fighter and all she was able to accomplish and the things that they felt maybe she had overcame. And then they fast forward to where she is now and they say, nah, those things that she dealt with as a child, what they thought she overcame as an amateur and through boxing, they look at her now and how she's conducting herself and they're like, she didn't overcome anything. A lot of that trauma, a lot of those things where they're describing as mental health struggles, it's still there. They're looking at her relationship. They look at her past relationships. They look at how there seemed to have been a transition from one boyfriend to the next, all while maintaining a lot of control over her boxing career and finding a way to at least keep that as pure as possible by dominating women in the ring and remaining undefeated. But these old heads all look at that and they say, you know what? That boxing record, that boxing career, that's going to come tumbling down. If she doesn't stop and take a look at herself in the mirror and be able to tell herself that she's important too. Now, I listen to all the women who call in. And you know what I get from, I'm talking to older women, right? A lot of them are looking at her, they're like, man, we've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. And we understand, you know, when it comes to young people. Now, first of all, Claressa ain't no baby. She's 31 years old, right? So she ain't no baby. But they watch her, and they're like, man, we've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Yes, a lot of time people have to make their own mistakes. That's where they get your experience. But if you have people who are trying to impart some wisdom to you and saying, hey, you have accomplished something very unique to go on and become not just a one, but a two-time gold medalist, right? You've accomplished something unique to go on and have this amazing professional boxing career where you've been able to be undefeated for 10 years. You've accomplished something unique to go up and down weight divisions and win titles and become undisputed. You've accomplished something unique to make millions of dollars. And you've accomplished something that's more unique and more distinguished than any of that. You were able to stay disciplined and stick to the script and get your ass out of a horrible situation. Because the circumstances that Claressa Shields was faced with, statistics will show you she's not supposed to be where she's at. And now that she's here, statistics will also show you that if a person who has some kind of trauma in their life doesn't seek professional help, they'll never achieve their true potential. Personally, professionally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, anything. Now look, I'm not qualified to sit here and diagnose anybody as having some kind of mental health struggles. There are women who call into the show. And when they start saying, you know, Claressa has this or Claressa has that, I ask them. I was like, what's your background? Because you're making these bold statements about her. You know what I mean? What's your background? And there are some who have that mental health provider background. You know what I'm saying? There are some who are psychologists who call in and they say, hey, based on my experience, just from looking at her, these behaviors are indicative of this, that, and this. You know what I'm saying? They will get very specific and get very technical. And there are those who come out there and they just start ranting and raving. And when I ask them those pointed questions, they get peanut butter in their mouth. They're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, okay, so just your opinion, right? And they're like, well, yeah. I'm like, all right. So I try to discern between the two. But I'm going to tell you right now, Hood Champion going to put on the old thinking cap. I spent a lot of years in counseling sessions with people. Now, I'm not a clinical counselor. I don't have no degree in psychology. I have degrees, but it doesn't matter, right? Because what does it matter? But it's not in those areas. But based on my experience in dealing with people, like when I watch Claressa Shields, she's interesting to me. Anyone who follows the channel knows Hood Champion always says. He doesn't like her, he doesn't dislike her, she's just interesting. Claressa Shields is interesting. Because I'm a boxing head. I know Claressa after she turned pro. I remember Claressa when she was struggling to get deals and she just couldn't figure it out. And she's watching what everybody else is getting, man, coming out the Olympics. And she's just kind of like, man, please, what about me? Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, please, what about her? And then there's a couple of things, but nothing really with any teeth. Then I saw Bernard Hopkins. I said, this man was on I think it was Sports Illustrated or something. Anyway, he there butt naked, turned to the side, and I'm like, yo, why this man take this picture? Why they got him on here dressed like out there butt naked with these pictures? And like, I just thought that shit was kind of corny, Then boom, Claressa Shields pops up on there and boxing gloves on and naked. And I'm like, I remember thinking, why, out of all the things that they could have asked her to do, why take her and put her on something naked? All those, they try to make it look very professional and very classy, and this is art. And I never understood that. I never understood that. And you look at where we are now, and you know what? I have to stop and ask the question. Maybe there is something more to Claressa Shields that we don't know. And that's why she moves the way she moves. And maybe everybody is right. But one thing for sure, Claressa don't seem to give a shit about what us old heads talking about. You know what I'm saying? She is moving the way she wants to move. Now, that personal life, let me just tell you this. I think 95% of the shit that people talking about would not be spoken about if some of her family members didn't find out about something called the internet, something called YouTube, something called a microphone, an interview. These platforms out here, content creators. Because when different family members started talking, Lord have mercy, that's when the floodgates open. And that coupled with Claressa's online behavior, carrying on with female fighters, male fighters, carrying on with fans. I mean, the most disgusting language you can think of. Now, I'll say this. She has every right to defend herself because she has taken some shots that weren't warranted, There are some people who wake up in the morning, they don't floss and brush their teeth, they don't wash their face, they don't wash their ass, they're nothing. They're probably still wearing a pajama and come downstairs with the pajama soiled, just smelling up the goddamn place. First thing they do, they just pull a piece of Yampy out their eye and fling it across the room and pull up the microphone and start talking shit. Start typing crazy. They even wash your hands, you know what I'm saying? When they took a shit, wipe your ass, hands stink, just got funky fingers. And it's on the keyboard, hands just stinking up the goddamn place. Need to get them some of this shit right here. Get you some Lysol and goddamn spray. But instead they want to get on that keyboard. Because when you talk about Claressa Shields equals currency. You understand? Currency. And people got to get it. But it makes me wonder with Claressa and the route she's taking with social media and the route she's taking with conducting herself makes me wonder if what we had an opportunity to see here, what family members have come out and told us about her, whether it's true or not, right? Just the things they're saying makes me wonder if there were things that were being seen for years by other people who are in certain positions to where those things were, I was like, damn, why is she not a gazillionaire? If they've seen things where they're like, nah, we don't want to take and push her that direction to get behind her because we need someone who's reliable. Someone who can represent our brand, represent our company. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the old heads are out here and basically like, look, the way I see it, listen a whole lot and talk very little. Time for you to shut up. But she just has chosen not to. And I'm gonna tell you what the biggest misstep has been. Now every single female, from young to old, every woman. And by the way, ladies, what's going on with you? I haven't heard one of them say that Claressa was right to go at Layla Ali. Now, when they talk about her and Franchon, or her and Serrano, or her and Katie Taylor, or her and these other female boxers, Alicia Baumgartner, the most they'll say is she seemed to be a bit jealous. But I don't hear no one out here speaking passionately in disagreement with Claressa going at these active female fighters. You see what I'm saying? But when it comes to Layla, young and old agree that Claressa has misstepped. Now, we've talked enough about that on the channel. Y'all know what I'm going to get at, so I'm not going to get into it. But they feel like, nope, that's she should have never gone that direction. They understand trying to make money, understand, we get it. Even I understand, I don't agree, but I understand. You want to get paid. You want a little bit of that Wu-Tang cream, cha-ching-ching, dollar bill, y'all. Went about it all wrong. But again, why did she behave like that? The old heads, when we see shit like that, we're not just like, where's the belt? Pop, 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 pop. Nah. We like, stop. Hammer time. No, we don't say hammer time. But we're like, yo, stop. Look at what's going on here. Let's analyze that behavior. Why is she acting like that? What's happening over there? And that's what we do. We say, did I ever act like that? Do I know someone who conducted themselves in that way? You know what I mean? We start to observe and analyze, to diagnose. We're ready to solve the case. And that's why when they come out here, they start talking, they're like, yo, there's something more going on there. And of course I make my jokes. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? Because that's what the behavior is indicative of. Somebody who's hanging out there on the goddamn yellow brick road with Dorothy. You know what I'm saying? Out there on Sesame Street, there was Snuffleupagus. That behavior is not normal. So it takes you back to us talking about whatever trauma as a child through the teenage years to now that hasn't been resolved. Now, when a person come out and tell you, ain't nothing wrong with me, it's something wrong with y'all. I'm okay, you're not okay. You broke bums, you ugly, you this, you stupid, you that. Your child is this, your mom is this, your dad is that, your sister is that, your car is this. You don't have no gold. Look at my fur, look at my this, look at my that. I'm eating Puerto Rican fish Simone. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. When you got a person who's sitting in position and they got the weapon off safety, they got that shit on full blast with hollow points, and all they do is sit back and take shots at you and him and her and this. Is that a dog over there? Pow! Shoot the dog. Hey, cat over there. Just attack. That's going to make people think something's wrong with you. That is not normal. It's like my dad told me when I was younger. You take on every asshole you meet, you're going to be a very busy person. You have that much time on your hands? I was like, nah. He was like, there you go. You know what I'm saying? He was like, you can't be out here worrying about what everybody says. Somebody say something, you want to go and see him. You want to get violent. He's like, your ass going to end up in prison, and when you go there, don't call me. He's like, I'm not going to help you. He's like, because the way you think in your mind And the shit you and your brother's getting into, he's like, you're going to end up in a situation. You're like, well, I cannot help you and I'm not going to help you because thoughts become actions. I was like 13 when he told me that because, my brothers and I, something. And I never forgot that lesson. And it didn't stop me from doing certain things, but it planted a seed, which benefited me down the road, you know what I'm saying? Because I could always hear that man voice, strong Trini accent and shit. Thoughts become actions, you know what I'm saying? And I never forgot that. So when I watch her, me being a 50-year-old male, left home at 19, I almost didn't even get a chance to leave home because I had to get a waiver because something. You know what I mean? So I was very fortunate. And that's why I'm just glad it worked out for me, put it to you that way. So I left home at 19, traveled the whole world, been around so many people from so many different places, man, different statuses, right? So when I watch Claressa, let me tell you something. I've seen Claressas before, man. I've seen those Claressas before. And every one of them that I've come across that are like that, loud, aggressive, looking at everybody, what somebody have, what somebody don't have, trying to come in, bigging up themselves. You call them self-licking lollipops. Everything about trying to draw attention to themselves to make it seem like they are doing so much better than someone else. Most of those people, men and women, because it's not just women who act like that, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely not a black thing that you wouldn't understand. That is a trauma thing. Now, of course, I can't diagnose. Again, remember, I'm pulling from 25. I can go all the way back from as kids, man, because I got some partners that we were all kind of out there, but some of them dudes, even to this day, I understand what trauma can do to a person. But I'll just go from 19 up. Most of them, man, some kind of trauma. And when you get an opportunity to sit down with them, because coming from the environment I came from, you'd have this something called a mandatory feedback, and where they have no choice. You schedule the time, and they have to be there. It's mandatory. And they sit their ass down, and you just sit there and you open it up. Hey, how you doing? Hey, come here. Want something to drink? Something, all the little bullshit. And it's like, okay, we're here. Just want to talk to you. Look, man. And me, I was a straight shooter. I'm like, how you doing? And sometimes you got to ask that 7 times. Nah, but how are you doing? And you'd be surprised. Some people, boy, it's hard to get something out of them. That's like going to a Chinese restaurant asking for extra soy sauce. Them motherfuckers ain't giving you no extra soy sauce. Hey, yo, Chin, let me get another soy sauce. You want soy sauce? Yeah, give me another. I give you 1 soy sauce. I need 4. 4 soy sauce? Like, goddamn. Just give me the soy sauce. Chinese people ain't giving up no soy sauce. For you, duck sauce. You duck sauce. It's like, man, Chin, get your ass up out of here. But during them counseling sessions, it's hard to get some people to talk. But every time, I'm telling you, once they open up and they start talking, especially when you shut up and just listen. Shut up and let them talk. Once they start talking, just shut up. And just with little, oh, okay, maintain that eye contact. You know what I'm saying? When they say anything, just nod in acknowledgement. Never show anything that could discourage them or make them feel uncomfortable. All that positive reinforcement. Keep them talking. You'll be surprised when you start peeling them layers back, what's going on with people. And then you'll be surprised that most of them really don't want to be that way. They don't know how to be any other kind of way. And that's when, in the capacity that I was in, it was like, all right, there's some different services here I can refer you to. We're going to get you some help. And you just have to let them know. Doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It's just probably nice to go and talk to a qualified professional who can just kind of maybe help you see things a different way. And A lot of people are always reluctant. I don't want to go over there. And it's like, well, you don't have a choice. It's either that. Try to get you better, because you can't have these outbursts. You can't be out here getting caught up in all this bull crap. We need you to be an effective team player. And right now, you can't give 100% because of whatever trauma that you faced is bogging you down. It's affecting your performance. And then once they went and they started just talking to someone, get them on a treatment plan, you'd be surprised the difference. It's like a weight being lifted off of them. When people have trauma, it bogs your ass down. And people may say it doesn't. It does, but a lot of people are embarrassed. They're embarrassed, too ashamed to go and get help. Go get help, people. You know what I'm saying? Go and get help. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I ended up having, they forced me to go do some of that shit one time. I was like, I ain't going in there. I told the story, man. But they got me up out of that men's working group because I was about to kill motherfucker in there. Then they put me over there with this other chick. She didn't give a shit. The working group with a dude and a bunch of guys in there. The guys were idiots. I couldn't do it. They had to get me up out of there. I was like, yo, I can't do it. I'm going to hurt one of them dudes, man. They needed to be put somewhere. They were fucking idiots. But then I hooked up with this one female, and the connection wasn't there. They hooked me up with this other chick. She and I connected. And it was the way they frame things. I'll tell you can't just be talking to your homegirl Katrina or your boy Willie from the goddamn juke joint. No, you need to go and talk to these qualified professionals. You'd be surprised what they can do for a person. So the bottom line is, I've seen how that can help people. And when I watch Claressa Shields, and I see how she's conducting herself, how she's acting, let me tell you something. That shit ain't normal. I'm just waiting for the big cry. You know what I'm saying? I'm just waiting for the big, hard cry. I think everybody at some point in time in their life have let go. Two things people at some point in time they let go in their life. When you eat something really good and your belly nice and full, you let go of a real big fart. You know what I'm saying? A monstrous fart. That does something for you spiritually. The next thing is when you finally decide to confront whatever's bogging you down and you release them emotions and that cry comes out. Remember that video of that dude who was like, bah! that crazy viral cry, that crazy shit. I mean, that's a different type of cry right there. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker had some trauma. Like he had some shit going on. Probably when he was in the womb. He probably experienced some shit before he was even born. Like that cry? I ain't never seen no like that crazy ass cry. But the bottom line is, two things can happen. You're going to release the cracking or release the cry. And I'm just waiting for that moment from Claressa. Now, this thing about her and the internet. People don't have time to sit back and try to understand you. Claressa is a target. But she's made herself a target. But you know what? I'm going to tell you this. I don't feel sorry for Claressa Shields. I think she needs to go and talk to somebody. I do. Now, I'm not saying she's stupid, looped it or nothing like that. I ain't saying she's Sesame Street. I ain't saying she out here, man, dog biting the cat. I'm not saying that. I think there's some shit there. I'll make jokes here and there, but I think she could benefit because what she deals with on a daily basis is not normal. To wake up every day and just people, like I said, they ain't even flossed and brushed their teeth. They just going at her. But I'm going to tell you this, I don't feel sorry for her. I don't. Because she openly talks about how much money she makes off the internet. So although I'm out here watching it, I'm like, yo, this ain't normal. She need to go talk to somebody. I also sit back and watch and say, well, she sure as hell showing all 32 teeth when them checks hitting the monthly YouTube checks hit, or from all them different social media platforms she sure as hell laughing and smiling then. But at the end of the day, a person's got to want to get help. You know what I mean? even if you don't have trauma, it's nice just to be able to go to see somebody who's a neutral party and who really truly wants the best for you, and go and carve out a couple times a week or whatever, a few times a month, or whenever you feel it's necessary, to sit down and just unload. Because this thing about her and being with a married man, look, let me tell y'all something. Papoose may be divorced. We don't know that. You see, everyone out here doing their secret squirrel stuff. There was somebody who came in my chat. There was someone who came in there, and they said, what they said got my attention. They said, hey, as far as that paperwork that everyone keeps talking about, they're like, Hood, you don't talk about it. You about the boxing, but what everyone in your chat talking about, they were like, the public doesn't have access to it. There are things that are being filed. If you want it to be confidential, it will. So everybody's saying they don't see the paperwork, they don't see this. They're like, trust me, it's been filed. And I was like, who the hell is that? Like, it's the way they came across. I was like, hold on a second. Who's flown into the chat? See, I need to start writing down the times when I'm doing my lives, the time when something like that jumps out. Because to go back and try to comb through these lives and find it, I do like 2 to 5 hour lives. Them 5 hour lives, I ain't searching shit. But if some of y'all out there got the time, y'all could go watch them and search through them and send them to me. Hey, these were the timestamps for some interesting stuff, and then I'll go check it out. But I ain't got the time. But when they said that, I was like, you just never know. But how about this? We all out here looking and saying, hey, man, your image is looking bad. Your brand is being destroyed. Figure out what you and this guy are going to do. He's got to get divorced, or you need to leave him alone until he can figure that out. How boy, talk about a turn of events if all of a sudden we find out that they're married. But the old heads, the women, they still got the concern like, we still don't approve of that. Because they're watching, and from their experience, they're like, this doesn't seem like something genuine. And when I listen to what all these women say, I say, I'm like, damn, boy, she got to train for fights. You know what I'm saying? She's got to be mentally healthy. And I just feel like she ain't never going to get no slack. Nobody ever going to cut her any slack. You know what I'm saying? Women have tried to talk to her. I've heard women out here talking about her and her money and her and her relationship and her and her diet, her and her family, her and how she conducts herself, and then now this thing with the little girl and the thing about the language. And I listen to the old heads, and they're like, she ain't gonna listen. Even when I was out here trying to kind of defend it, they're like, nope. Then they bring religion into it. They pay attention to that. She always talking about religion in the Bible. You can't come out here thumping the good book out here, not with these women on my channel. Don't get me wrong. None of them try to come off like they're perfect. But one thing for sure, when you start talking the good book talk, the women on my channel, the ones who, there are a few, you don't want to play that game with them. You will lose every time. They don't play that. You know what I mean? They ain't here quoting scriptures. They know everything. So they're looking at everything that she's doing. But you know what, man? She ain't really listening to what anybody had to say. And I know Claressa be on my channel. She comes into my comments on my videos, and she be in the chat. Because when they're commenting, it's like, oh, these old women, are these women saying this, and where's their man, and where's their this, and I bet you they did the same thing and worse when they were younger. So I know that it's her and probably some of her friends, but I know when she comes in, because she and I go back and forth. And she and I go back and forth on the comments on my videos. And we're not going back and forth attacking each other. It's respectful. But I know when it's her. It's just when someone says, "Man, please," when they type that shit, I know who that is. You know what I'm saying? And when they're so passionate about what they're saying as far as an opponent and what someone's done compared to Claressa Shields and what she's done compared to them, and I know who it is. But hey, man, to all the ladies out there with style and grace, let me tell you this: she gonna do what she want. And for me, I'm gonna keep doing my videos, but I realize that ain't nothing I'm saying she wanna hear, because to her it comes off as people not being genuine. You know what I mean? They're not genuine anyways, how she sees it. And that's just being real. You say, hey man, look, we all think you're a great fighter, but you got to tighten up in your personal life, you know, the way you're conducting yourself. Be a professional. That's a backhand compliment. You don't really mean that. Yeah. You start saying more nice things and more positive things, and I'll come back on your show. It's like, you can't win. So don't even try to say nothing nice about it. Just talk about what you're going to talk, because, again, you can't even say anything to her, which is the truth. Yo, you whip ass. You're a great fighter. Because what she hears is, you don't mean that. You know what I'm saying? Narcissistic behavior, you know what I mean? So, I guess all y'all ladies and myself, the guys who come out, call in and chime in, I guess we're just a bunch of old broke bums that are jealous because she has her man. Papoose, pap, brrr. Maybe that's what it is. But everything can't be about looks, about your body, about sex. What more do you have to offer? What other things can you talk about? You know what I'm saying? There's got to be more. Boxing, her appearance, the money, clothes. What else? Like, I think about all these different champions. They talk a lot about a lot of things, but for Claressa, outside of her man, she don't really say much about boxing. But we know she gets busy. I personally don't think she wants to fight anymore. That's just me. But her man, going into the booth to kick the truth with her rap songs. So in the booth to kick the truth. Money, furs, and punching somebody in the mouth, all up in your mouth. I mean, outside of that, I mean, what's she talk about? Like y'all tell me, because I know y'all follow shit more than me. But as a boxing head, I watch it. I watch all these fighters. But with her, I'm really paying attention. I'm like, all right, what else she talking about here? Nothing. No, said she had 5 homes or something, and 4 cars, and 4 homes, 5 cars. I don't know. Some shit. What happened to the flipping houses and all that? You know, that was something that stuck out to me. I was like, okay, she flipping houses and seemed to have something really good going on. What happened with all that? You know, maybe she's making the kind of money, because, you know, I ain't trying to jump into nobody's pocket, because I don't like nobody trying to jump into mine, but maybe she's making the kind of money where if she go drop $100,000 on some shit, it doesn't matter. Because if with me, I've always been, when I was younger, I used to buy land, properties, I used to flip them, I used to do pre-construction condos and then flip it within 5 months before the project was complete, and basically sell the contract to someone else. So when the deal closed, they had to take the loan out, but I had a check cut to me. So it's like a middleman thing, you know what I'm saying? And all I was doing was just moving money. That's it. I didn't really have to, that was it. I didn't close on it. I would sell it off. So let's say you buy something at $100,000, and then by the time and then you sell it for 3 months in, it's appraising at $140,000. and then I sell it to somebody at 140, and then by the time the project's done, it appraised at 200. So when they close, I bought it for 100, I sold it for 140. I get a $40,000 check cut to me, and then that person closes, they finance the 140,000, but they go in there without, they have 60,000 in equity. You know what I'm saying? But there's a mentality a person has when they're into those things. You could have never put $100,000 in my hand, even now, but when I was younger, when I was out there into all that, my friends and I, and think I would have gone up to the goddamn outlets, up to some Louis Vuitton Gucci store. I've never been interested in that. Maybe because I'm a West Indian motherfucker. You know what I mean? All I need is my little push-toe sandals, a little short. I don't even need a fucking shirt. My little pot, my little iron pot, my pot spoon, and my fucking seasoning and food, and some music. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I don't need nothing, man. I have plenty, don't get me wrong, but I don't need shit. How I was raised, man. Need all that. So if she was really into flipping things and doing all this, still, unless she got the money like that, you just go blow 100,000 like that. Why not go out there, man, and pick up some more properties and keep flipping? That shit is addictive, man. Everyone I know who's into that or was into that is addictive. Flip, invest, flip, turn. You know what I mean? Because it's not a bad deal if you know what you're doing. So I don't know. I don't know what happened there. But I would hope that she's not gambling. I would hope that she is still out here investing and buying properties and flipping them. I would hope so. But I don't know what she's doing anymore because she doesn't talk about it. She was talking about it before. She was excited. She was happy. When's the last time you heard Claressa Shields talk about that shit? What happened? I mean, I'm being honest, those were good conversations, at least for me, because I'm like, yo, that's where my mind is at. I'm like, boom, okay, she doing that? Outstanding. But what happened? Where is that now? But hey, people can do what they want, man. It ain't my life, it's theirs. But this shit about beefing with all these women and Baumgartner and Shadesha and MVP and trying to co-sign Caroline DeBar, let me tell you something. Go on and get yourself situated first. Go on. Because there's just a lot going on with Claressa Shields. When I talk to Claressa Shields and she's like, man, it's just a lot. That's what she said. That's what she said. She said, man, it's just a lot. She didn't say it like that. She was like, man, it's just a lot. Like she exhaled. It's like she was human. You know what I'm saying? I got the video. It's like she was human for a moment. And that's when I was like, yo. But, since then, I've moved on beyond that because she's doing what she wants to do and says what she wants to say. So I'm going to, in a respectful way, I'm going to address things. You know what I'm saying? But that, I personally feel that right there is what she truly feels every single day. But she may not know how to go about getting the help she may need. And again, like I said, I can't diagnose no one. I'm just going off my years of experience and dealing with people. Just going out there and talk to somebody. I'm not saying she needs medication. I can't diagnose anyone. Who the fuck am I? But I can tell you that probably wouldn't hurt for her to go talk to somebody. Sooner than later, put it to you that way. We all could benefit. But her, sooner than later. Anyway, I could keep going, but I got to go drop my son's e-bikes off. One of the tires are flat and get the brakes adjusted. And then go pick that little joker up from school. He been pissed because he want to ride his e-bike to school. He has two. One of them worked fine. I just wanted the brakes to tighten up the brakes a little bit. And the other one's brand new. 4 days after riding, damn front tire flat. So I got an inner tube and go get it changed out. So when will Claressa listen to the older folks? You got guys talking about the diet, the appearance, the attitude. Let me just say this before I get off here. For all the ladies and for all the men out here, right? You know what's something, man, that I've always liked? What I've always found attractive about women? It's not all that junk in the trunk and all that shit, man, and all that rump shaker and big booty and all that. Nah. I mean, we notice it. You know what I'm saying? Just like y'all notice stuff on us, you know what I'm saying? We notice that about y'all ladies and shit. Y'all got body. But that ain't it. It's a woman who smiles, talks nice. I've always found that attractive. You know what I mean? Nice personality, nice energy. I find that very attractive. Not the crocodile that's out here chewing sunflower seeds and spitting that shit out. Hot toast spitting mucus and shit out. Not that. That ain't attractive. There was one girl back in the day I was dealing with. And we used to hang out every now and then. And we were out walking one day. And she was like, hold on. She was holding my arm. We were watching. She was like, hold on one second. I was like, what's up? She was like, wait. I was like, yeah. She turned and said, hot toast spit. Whoop, big ass, looked like a tennis ball. Big green fucking tennis ball just flew out of her mouth. That mucus hit the ground and bounced and rolled. I said, God damn. Like she just spit a goddamn tennis ball out of my big green stinking loogie. I said, nasty ass. And then we walking and shit. And then I walked her home. And she thought I was going to kiss her. I said, yeah. She's like, oh, you ain't going to kiss me? I said, hell no. Damn dragon. I know dragons breathe fire. I ain't never known a dragon breathe a goddamn tennis ball. That green shit came out like a tennis ball. And it hit the ground and bounced. Boom, boom, boom. And the shit just rolled. Like Happy Gilmore playing goddamn golf. I got up out of there. Shit. And after that, I never looked at that girl the same. And I would never kiss her. I go out there and rub something, but I got the hell away from that. I just couldn't get that shit out of my mind. But again, talk nice. Them loud ones, them crazy ones, that shit ain't attractive. It ain't attractive, man. I'll go say something else, I don't know, but the tennis ball shit threw my thoughts, my pattern of thought off, so I'm gonna shut my big ass mouth. But that's true what I'm telling y'all. See, here now I'm traumatized. I need to go talk to somebody. I think I'm gonna make a phone call here after I get off and talk about that trauma, seeing that girl spit that mucus out of like a tennis ball, man. It was ridiculous. But anyway, man, Claressa ain't gonna listen to nobody. She's not gonna listen to us. Forget about it. It's over. She's gonna keep doing what she wants. All that talent, man, throwing it down the drain. I just don't understand. But I ain't trying to understand no more because she doesn't care. But I'll say this, man. Hopefully she's talking to someone, or she will talk to someone. And the PR team and all that's cool, but forget that. Get you some, go see professionals, man. You know what I'm saying? Go and see the professionals and get the help you need. In the breeze.